Hello, everyone. I wanted to do a video on Secure Act 2.0. Many of you have heard about it. There's things in the news trickling out, but let me cover the basics and then get into some points that affect most of you. So on December 23rd, with time running out, Congress passed Secure Act 2.0. Okay, as part of the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2023, a $1.65 trillion omnibus spending package. Okay, so that kept the government running. Now, the new retirement legislation was not the game changer that the original Secure Act was from December of 2019, but 2.0 does make significant alterations to the retirement account rules. The main consumer headlines that you would have heard about is that required minimum distributions are now pushed back to age 75 for most people. So I'm going to record a few videos to cover what we would sort of consider the main elements that would affect most of you. Each video is going to be somewhere between 5 and 7 minutes long. In this video, I'm going to cover the changes to the age that you need to begin taking your required minimum distributions and some planning considerations around that, okay? So first, let me define a few things for those of you who don't know. And anybody who's a client, you know, we sent out a webinar defining and going over the Secure Act. The Secure Act stands for Setting Every Community Up for Retirement Enhancement. And again, that was passed in December of 2019. The Secure Act brought a wide range of changes to the retirement planning landscape. And the main one that affected everyone is the death of the stretch IRA. So a stretch IRA was previously where someone who was inheriting a retirement account was allowed to take required minimum distributions over their entire lifetime. Well, after December 2019, the Secure Act being introduced, they reduced the lifetime distributions down to 10 years. You had 10 years to take all of the money out of inherited retirement accounts. No other element of the Secure Act has the significance of the death of the stretch IRA. However, Secure 2.0 has nearly 100 changes, and several of these can be relevant to you. This is why I'm going to be recording a few videos, because there's key planning points. There's no way for me to cover all of them, but I'm going to highlight some of the key ones. Okay, so now let me get into required minimum distributions. Okay, if you were born in or before 1950, there's no change to the date you need to take your required minimum distributions. You would have already been 72 or older by December 31st of 2022, and you continue taking your RMDs. There's no change for you, okay? If you were born between January 1st, 1951, and December 31st, 1959, you need to start taking RMDs when you reach age 73. Now, if you were born in 1960 or later, you will begin taking RMDs at age 75. So you might be wondering, why is Congress taking 10 years to make the shift to age 75 for RMDs? It all comes down to accounting, okay? All the tricks that our blessed government likes to take when dealing with budgets and spending bills. And then I can go on a roll about our debt levels, but let's move on. Here are some planning considerations that I need to mention. At first, all of us, me included, might have been thinking, this is great. Clients don't need to start taking RMDs until 73 or 75. Well, the truth is yes and no. So by delaying RMDs, if you don't need the income to live off of, then you're reducing your tax bill for those few years. And that could be a good thing. And if you're actively doing Roth conversions, right, taking money out of your IRAs and moving it over to a Roth and paying taxes, you have more years to do that. And that can also be a good thing. But you need to realize that doing Roth conversions or using your IRA for current income means pushing your RMDs for later, which means that that pre-tax retirement account continues to grow for a few more years and your balances will be higher. And then when you take the RMD, that could potentially push you into an even higher tax bracket and potentially a higher Medicare premium bracket. So, okay, good. Also, if you're planning to leave IRAs to kids or other beneficiaries and have decided that let them deal with the taxes, then it's very likely that your IRA balance will be a good bit higher when you pass because you have less years to distribute your RMDs since you're taking them later. Your beneficiaries in turn will only have 10 years to take their entire distributions, which again means their tax bill could be even higher. Okay, so there are some financial planning considerations here. You might want to use these additional years for Roth conversions, or you might want to take distributions from your IRA to live off of and not use other accounts for additional income. For those of you leaving your IRA to several beneficiaries, if it's a smaller IRA, the tax impact to them might be negligible. So there's a lot of planning considerations, and there's no way for me to cover them all. This is the first video, and there are more to come, okay? But I hope it's helpful. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about 529 plans and Roth IRAs. So stay tuned.